Started the business in 1995, and it was perfect. And I wasn't used to failure or things not working out well. And then in 2008, when my daughter was born, we also had that big economic crisis. Lehman Brothers crashed, and it was doomsday here. And that was a new experience to see failure, to see that you're not successful, and that there's things you obviously are not able to influence. You have a special needs child, and in my case, my daughter has a worldwide chromosome disorder, as we found out later. And then they say she's never going to be able to sit. And I was used to be able to change things with willpower and with hard work. And then somebody says it's never possible. I had a situation once with a doctor about some medical stuff, and I said, okay, if that happened, that would be like hitting the lottery. And the doctor said, no, you don't understand that. Hitting the lottery is possible. That's never going to happen. I heard this phrase once. It says, in the end, it's going to be okay, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. There's a little. But not only a little, there's truth in that. The sun will come up again. And if you have trouble, a mistake you should not do is to run away. You shouldn't turn away. If life hits you in the face, okay, you have to go on. You have to go through. You have to push through, but don't go back, because then you're at the same spot where you started. So you have a tough situation, go on. Do whatever is necessary, and keep the faith.
Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of American Real. My name is Roger Brooks, and today my very special guest is Hendrik Habbermann. Hendrik, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Hello.
And thanks. I know we connected some time ago through a mutual friend online, and it's wonderful to sit down and talk to you today. Tell everyone where you're located.
I'm in Germany, between Cologne and Düsseldorf, so in the western part of Germany. I was born just a few miles from here and grew up here. Spent 1 year in America as a foreign exchange student, by the way, but pretty much have lived all my life here in Germany.
Fantastic. What was your impression of America, and how was your experience there?
It was great. I think everybody who got to the States, especially in the 90s, loved it and didn't want to go back. So didn't I. Didn't want to go back. Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. And the interesting thing is, when you live with a family for 1 year, you really look into the culture and you feel part of the family and part of the society and part of the community in school, etc. It was awesome. And I think it has left a very, very great impression on me.
Where exactly were you located?
Girard, Pennsylvania. That's in Erie County, so on Lake Erie.
Okay,
and
sure.
The northern part of Pennsylvania.
And actually, it's not too far from where I am. I'm in upstate New York, so it's just about 3 hours to the west.
Yeah, so there's Erie and then Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo, and in between there, that
right.
was I.
So you had some cold weather, I assume.
Cold winters, yes.
Cold winters.
Yes, yeah.
Well, great. And I'd love to jump right into this and talk about your work, Hendrik. Can you tell us, you talk about on your website being a sherpa.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that? What does that mean? I think coach comes to mind, but I believe you have a different definition. What is it?
Generally speaking, Sherpa are those, the guys that bring up your baggage on a hill in the Himalaya. Sherpa, really, it's people, and they help you to bring up the stuff if you want to climb the Mount Everest. And I consider myself a Sherpa in a metaphorical sense, that I say, I'm not a trainer because I don't teach you certain skills. I'm not a coach who leads you by questions to find the answer. I work with people in a very specific field, and what I say is that first of all, I know the countryside. Okay, so I know where you are, and for my expertise, for my special case, and I know the way out. That's the second thing, and the third thing is that I take part of your baggage. And the story behind this is that I have a severely handicapped daughter, or daughter with severely handicaps. And then my company was almost bankrupt. And then my wife and I decided to have one more child, but it turned out to be triplets. So if you deal with massive, excessive demands, and with a lot of things going on with your kids, with your family, your whole life changing, then I say, I think I can help you. And as I said, I don't lead by questions. I can tell you where to go, what to do, at least give you the option and say, this is what usually helps. So this is what's going to happen in your relationship. This is what's going to happen in your business if you're an entrepreneur. And that's why I think Sherpa is a better expression than a coach or a trainer or whatever.
I love it. And I love the fact that you say, I help handle some of your baggage. Wow, that's pretty powerful. It's actually emotional if you think about it, because for most of us, when we're going through, say, a transformation or trying to make change in our life, there's always that fear factor in the back of our mind that, can we get past it? Can we get past that old baggage? Can we get through the fear? And it sounds just that short intro that you gave gives me a good feeling that you're able to help people by carrying some of that baggage.
Right. I'm standing by their side. And if you, for example, take a look at the business side, that if you're an entrepreneur and you're about to find out that your child has a severely handicap, and it's gonna change your whole life, and it's gonna change you as a person, and probably you will, if you go to a lot of therapies and you try to find solutions for what is going on, you will work much less. So there's things going to be changing in your company, and maybe you say, I don't have time for that, or I don't know what to do, I don't know how to handle all this. And then I'm there at the people's side and say, okay, I'm here, we can do it together. Or if you take a look at the child side and say, okay, we need to go to special therapists, we need to go to doctors, but I have no idea where to turn to. Okay, there's not one place that covers everything considering a special needs child. So you have to find out by yourself, what does the state do, or what does the insurance do, or where there's help, where there's volunteers that can help you. And if you have somebody with experience, that shortens the way, that they can give you good advice, they can give you quick advice, and you don't have to find out for yourself. And this is what I mean by I carry baggage. Okay, so I'm there as support, but I'm actually helping and working if it's necessary.
What's the difference between that philosophy and the philosophy of a typical coach, would you say?
From what I think is that a coach tries to ask questions for you to understand. And you say, oh, okay, I get it. So this is what I'm going to do now. I sometimes say we don't have time for that. Okay, I don't ask questions, say, what do you think could be the right move now? Or what do you think could be next in the situation we are in, especially when it comes to the therapies or when it comes to trouble in business. We don't play the questioning game. I say, okay, it's from my experience, this is happening, and this is what you should do, or this is what you need to take care of. So I still give options, but I pretty clearly point out what I think is right, and I explain it why this is right. So you can always have a different decision, but we want to make it quick. The goal is for me to say that if you have a stroke of fate, I say I can bring you back on track in 3 months. Okay, so I can bring you back to high performance, and in 3 months we can pretty much set up the circumstances so that you can bring performance. Okay, that doesn't mean that the personal development is finished, because that goes on all the time. But we want to get you out of the sadness. I want to bring the people back to productivity. So it's a lot about time. It's about getting results and get them as quick as possible.
So Hendrik, how do you connect with clients? How are you finding them? People that are in this situation, people that are entrepreneurs. I mean, a lot of things have to come together for someone, I would think, to be able to be in need of your expertise.
Yeah, well, actually, the people find me, and the target group is very small, right? And this is what I do as a Sherpa. This is not what I do every day. Every day, I'm an entrepreneur myself. I have about 25 employees in my company, and we do means of advertising and merchandise, promotional items. So if somebody needs me, people know me a little bit, maybe about social media, about Facebook. They have seen me on stage, maybe, or have written something about me, or they hear in their network about me, and then they contact me. But the idea is that I go out and talk on stages about my personal development, how my daughter has changed me, how the triplets have changed me, how my experience in business has changed me. And then somebody says, "Oh, this is interesting. I could need a Sherpa maybe in that or that situation," and then people contact me.
That's fascinating, and I would imagine that your clients could be all over the world. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's possible. Of course, I'm more known in Germany as I'm German, but I have an English website, and what I post on Facebook is English and German, so you can either one can find me. But the idea is that if somebody needs my help, I say, okay, we can have an appointment within 84 hours in Europe. Okay, no matter where they are, we can sit together and see if I can be of any help. But it's possible worldwide, yes. But nothing, usually it doesn't happen worldwide, but it will be possible.
Sure. No, it's incredible. And what I'd love to know is if you could take us back to before your daughter was born. Were you a different person at that point?
Oh yeah, definitely. You see, I'm raised in a pretty good house, so my parents had enough money to buy the things we wanted to have. I'm fairly talented in different things. I wanted to go to the States. Before that, I had a student exchange with Ireland. I wanted to do it. My parents said, of course, we support you. I did that in 9th grade, I think, and 10th grade. Then 11th grade, I wanted to go to the States. I was supported, no question about that. And I came back. My English is fair enough. I had good grades. I went to college, served an apprenticeship. There's like a combination in that education that was new in Germany back then, and there was only a few seats. I got one of them, got promoted a lot, and everything always went well. And I founded my first company when I was still in school. I did that with my brother. We just wanted to make some money besides school, but it grew more and more. And then we had a business all of a sudden, and we got own machines and we got people, and everything went up. Everything was always successful. We started the business in 1995, and it was perfect. And I wasn't used to failure or things not working out well. And then in 2008, when my daughter was born, we also had that big economy crisis. Lehman Brothers crashed, and it was doomsday here. I mean, I didn't get any order for my regular business, and then I had the things going on with my daughter. And that was a new experience to see failure, to see that you're not successful, and that there's things you obviously are not able to influence. You have a special needs child, and in my case, my daughter has a worldwide chromosome disorder, as we found out later. And then they say she's never going to be able to sit. And I was used to be able to change things with willpower and with hard work. And then somebody says it's never possible. I had a situation once with a doctor about some medical stuff, and I said, okay, if that happened, that would be like hitting the lottery. And the doctor said, no, you don't understand that. Hitting the lottery is possible. That's never going to happen. And that is different, when you're used to making good money, being successful, things go the way you want them to, and then you experience life hits you, and you get modest in a lot of things, and that is tough. That is tough, that you learn the other side of life, and you have to learn to accept that and to say, okay, this is what it is now. All right, and it's going to be okay. And I remember that one day I woke up, my daughter was a few months old, and we had in 2009, we had, bad news all the time. She's blind, she has a chromosome disorder, she will not do that, she will not do that, this has never been possible, and she's epileptic and all that stuff. And I woke up one day and I said, okay, what are you going to do now? Wake up every day and say life is shitty? I'm not going to do that. So there must be a different way, okay? So I have to change my perspective. I have to work on that. Where can I find joy? What can I be thankful for? What is there? What is good? So and that's a lot of deep work you have to do, but that definitely changed you and makes you a totally different person. Like before that, life was a lot about winning to me, and winning was competing. So I always wanted to be better than somebody else. And we played football, soccer. As we played soccer, I always wanted to win. We played tennis, I wanted to win. Okay, took a look at my grades and thought, okay, what do the other people have, and where am I above average or not? And being the best and being above average, that was winning to me. And then you have a child, and you realize she will never win. In a sense of competing, she will never be the best. She'll never run the fastest or make the nicest painting or whatever. And I had that situation once when they said she's maybe not ever even be able to sit. And we had this walking trainer, and we wanted her to walk. So put her in there, and it's like a kind of like a wheelchair, but you stand in there and you need to walk. And she hated that. So she hit us, she spit on us, she screamed, she never did it. And eventually, after a few months, she got a like in it, and she started to walk with that walker. And I was once in the hall of my house, and I heard my daughter walking, and then she came through the door, but she wasn't using the walker. And she was coming to me, and she said, like, go, 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 because I always said when I wanted her to walk in the walker, I always said, go, go, go. And she said, go, go, go. And she came to me, and I thought, okay, cool, she's going to give me a hug. But she passed by, and she went to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom and started playing with the water. And I thought, what a champion, she's walking. And then I realized, it's not about competing. If you compete with a person, it's yourself 2 weeks ago. Okay, so it's your life, it's your talents, it's your limits, and it's about pushing those limits. It's about fighting every day, but that has nothing to do with all the other people. So the house of your neighbor is bigger. It's not important. Okay, he has different talents. He has a different background. He has different stuff given in his genes, in what his parents gave him, whatever. So somebody who has nothing and then makes a small fortune, has worked much harder and is much more successful than somebody that had a fortune and made billions out of it, because that's easy compared to, having nothing, or I don't know, being beaten up as a kid and having a horrible childhood with alcoholics, or having no education, couldn't be able to walk to school, didn't have no food. So this is how my perspective on winning totally changed. It's not about competing. And I catch myself still doing that and looking at other people, but more and more I say, what can I learn? What can I extract? What is good for me? But I don't feel bad if somebody is more successful. I feel bad if I say, you should be able to do that too. But it's everybody should have this, and never want to take it away from the people. But that's a different view now on winning and on success. That's one story that pretty much changed my perspective.
Wow, Hendrik, that's really, really powerful. And as you're talking, I'm just trying to put myself in your place during that time, and I could only imagine how challenging. But you said one word in there that I was thinking as you said it, and that is acceptance. You came to acceptance, right? That okay, I could either go one way and be miserable every day, or I could go another way and try to grow and help my daughter and my family through this process. And it sounds to me like that day, whenever that day was, is the day that everything changed, right? Is that right?
Yes, kind of. It changed because you started. The very important thing is that you realize you have a choice. If something miserable happens, you can say, okay, how should I feel any different? Okay, because it's so bad. And one time you say, okay, there's people that have a tough life, but they're in a good mood, they're happy. Or you say, okay, I could feel miserable, but I have, a house, I have something to eat, I live in a pretty secure country, and I have Wi-Fi. So that distinguishes me from 95% of all human population. So why should I feel miserable? Okay, my daughter has a handicap, but I have food. I don't have to worry about what to eat tomorrow. So I should be thankful. And at first it's a rational thing, but you realize that you have a choice. And I didn't say that it's easy. A very important thing. I don't say that this doing this and going that way is easy, but it's possible. And you have to go day by day, and you also fight day by day. And I have to fight my demons, and I have to fight my sadness sometimes and my frustration about so many things. But I learned that it's my fight. It's nothing to do with the outside world or with the facts. It's about my interpretations of the facts. So one can say that saying that or understanding that I don't want to wake up in the morning feeling miserable because of, I could also be thankful because of. It's my choice. And then I started to go ahead, okay, and to progress a little bit. But again, I don't say that you say, oh, I make a decision, now everything is bright. That didn't work for me, and it still doesn't.
And how are things today?
With my daughter, things are good. She's not hitting puberty now, so it's tough if you have kids in puberty, and then with the special needs, it's even harder, I suppose. But with just talking about her, there's full acceptance. I don't wish her any different, or I feel sorry because she's the way she is. That's her personality, and that is totally okay. And I also sometimes I say that she's the biggest teacher, the greatest teacher I have, because she teaches me to be patient and to accept that things are the way somebody else wants them and not I want them to be. And it's good. I mean, of course, there's, as I said, there's things in life that, okay, could be better and that I have to fight. And I fight myself. Okay, I have to fight my demons and not somebody else's. And it's not that I'm happy every day, but when I get some distance and I take a look at it, I realize it could be worse, and that's my ambition, for example. That's in my way. It's my ego that's in my way, and nothing else. So it's me.
So how does this experience with your daughter, and now you say she's entering puberty, so it's been, I would assume she's what, 12, 13?
Yeah, she turns 11.
Oh, 11. Okay, great. How has this impacted your business, the entrepreneur, you working with your employees, growing the business itself and sustaining that? What impact has it had on your business?
One thing that changed me is that when my daughter was younger and we found out that she has a chromosome disorder, I asked a lot about why. I said, why is that? Why is that? And I wanted to know the reasons. And I totally stopped this. So I'm very, very much more focused on results and on the what for question than on the why question. So I think I have a lot more focus, a lot more clarity in what I do and what I want. At the same time, I realized that I suppose it's much harder for my people, because I expect, as I said, results. I expect them to think in what is this good for and not why do we do it. So what is the impact we have and not what is the input. But the why question, I wasted a lot of time in finding out why things are the way they are. But I understood that that I get knowledge, but I don't get results. Okay, so if I know, for example, why my daughter has a worldwide chromosome disorder, then I'm smarter, but it doesn't help my daughter. Therapies help my daughter. Trying to find out what is good for her helps my daughter. So I'm much more careful about where I spend energy, because in the end, it's all about energy. Time is energy, money is energy, whatever, everything is energy. And energy is the common thing in all science and in all we do and all we have. So yeah, I'm more focused, more sharp, more clarity, but I think not as easy to get along to. I don't compromise that much, for example. It's no. I know much more what I want, and I'm very clear in what I say. My language is very on the point now. So I like to argue, and I tell people and new employees, I say I like to argue. Okay, and your job as an employee is not to make me feel good. Okay, you are here to get results. If I don't like it, that's my problem, not yours. Okay, if you criticize me for what I do, explain the reason and give me something to learn about it. What can we do better? It's fine. If you have the impression I don't like it, get my problem. Okay, don't care about that. So things like that. But that's tough for some people.
Yeah, I was going to say, is your philosophy your way or the highway, or are you willing to take input from an employee? And if they're giving you an argument that makes sense, are you going to say, okay?
Actually, I expect that. I expect them to come to me, for example, and say, okay, you made a decision, but this decision is bad. And then I say, that's interesting. Why? Why is that? So the why is not the reason, but to understand what should we do? What's better? And what's your motivation to do that? And then they say that, then that. So, okay, you're right. You're right. I feel bad because I wasted 3 years on doing it the wrong way. But thank you. Okay, we have progress. What I don't like, though, is if somebody says, that's wrong, and you say, I don't see why. Could you explain and give you more information? And then somebody says, well, just thought.
Right. Again,
that is a waste. I don't like that. You should have good reasons for what.
Bring a solution to the table.
Right, and make it better. And always say, what for? Okay, so what's the purpose? Why you say that? Do we get a better company? Do we serve the clients better? Is it better for the employees? Okay, what do we gain? What's the impact? And then it doesn't matter who says it, if it's an apprentice or if it's my brother who's leading the company with me. It doesn't matter who says it. It's just the argument counts.
That's awesome. Can you walk us through a typical project, or just give us an idea of what your company is working on day to day?
Well, the company is, as I said, is a promotional business. So we do pens and umbrellas and USB sticks with a logo on. We do engraving. Most of what we do is textiles. So we do embroidery and sublimation. That's heat transfer printing or flock flex printing. That's pretty much as we bring logos on T-shirts, polos, soft shell jackets. That's most of what we do. And most of the business is OEM or individual business, so companies come to us and say, okay, I need jackets with my logo on. Then we also have some of our own items we sell on eBay or Amazon. And then we have another company that just makes bags. We do high quality bags with made from PP woven, PP non-woven. That's like permanent plastic bags. You can reuse them. It's eco-friendly. Or high quality paper bags, so with a cotton or PP cord and with knotted. That's what we do. So not the easy bags, not the plastic bag with a die cut handle. That's what we not do. We do all the fancy stuff. Yeah, it's all handmade actually. So you glue or you sew by hand. This is what we do.
And you mentioned early on that you have machines. Do you do a lot of this work in-house? Or most?
Yeah, well, the finishing, or we call it like the logo we do. We do engraving, we do digital printing, we do embroidery, and we do the flock and flex printing. This is what we do in-house. Most of the articles it's a standard article. For example, if you want a polo shirt or a shirt, this shirt is in stock. We take it and we put the logo on. So we don't make the shirt. That only makes sense if you have high quantity. Otherwise, it's cheaper to take a regular product off the shelf. And then this finishing or putting the logo on, this is what we do in-house. Yeah.
Fascinating. No, it's a wonderful business. And I actually have friends in the business. I actually was in the T-shirt business early on.
Oh, okay.
So I know all the work that goes into it. And it's a fun process to watch that come to life. And especially to see a happy client on the other end when they get their product in hand. It's
right.
A wonderful feeling.
Right. And it's a lot. I found out there's like a common story to what I do as a Sherpa. Pretty much I want to help people to progress, to express themselves, to be able to live their life, to work on what's important to them and get stuff out of the way. And pretty much this is what I do with our companies too. So we make promotional items or merchandise items for companies. And this is also to express themselves. I say, this is who we are. This are values we want to communicate. Okay, this is something we can bring out. So this is, as I found out, like a common thing in both of what I do.
Great. And in addition to all this, you also have your own podcast.
Yes, I have my own podcast. It's called The Super Dad Entrepreneur. Actually, it's... somebody asked me once, they said, why do you want to be a Sherpa? Because you have to handle with, sad and tough things all the time. And I said, this is why I do it. Because 10 years ago, when I was in that situation, I wished there was somebody who could help me and guide me and give me advice on what to do, because I felt pretty alone. Nobody could help me in the business. If I'd asked a psychologist, he would say, I have no clue about the business side, right? If I would ask like a consultant, he says, I have no idea what's going on at home, what's going on in your relationship. They come to your office and they don't realize you haven't slept, especially with the triplets. I mean, I slept 1.5 hours, 2 hours a night for several months. And they don't understand how you feel if you get all those diagnoses. So I said, okay, for that very, very, very little small target group, I think I can be the one. And then I said, there's plenty of stuff to talk about business side, about therapies, about talking about experience with other parents about their experience. So I made it a podcast, and I said, this is what we talk about. Everything that I wanted to know 10 years ago, I still want to know. I mean, I'm still learning, of course. I have a guest and talk on the podcast. There's solo episodes too, but most of them it's an interview. And I cover things that you might be interested if you have a child with severely handicaps, have a business, have gone through tough times, and then get triplets. And if it's only twins or whatever, it's also interesting to you. Quadruplets, maybe, I don't know, whatever it is.
No, our producer Michael Leonard has triplets. So
Okay. Oh God.
I hear the stories, and you talk about the lack of sleep, and he talks about the same things in the early days when they were babies, and it's actually
And
what a gift to have triplets.
it's really tough. That the interesting thing is two things. First of all, that there's always some people that say, "Oh, if you got one child or two or three, it doesn't really make a matter." Well, I don't think so. Okay, it's if I have four kids and if one of the triplets is not at home, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. And secondly, now that when people hear me or get to know me, or even relatives or acquaintances, they always say, "Oh, that it's a lot of work with the triplets." They always like neglect my first daughter, as if that was a huge baby. But it's more, as I said, she's in puberty. It's more it's a woman. Okay, and that of course, I mean, she's tall and she has power. She's strong. Okay, she can takes. I mean, she can pull things and she has, or she can throw stuff off the table and all that. It's whatever she touches, she throws away. And it's like we have to prepare the house for everything that could possibly happen. Uh, and yeah, it's a lot of work. So always be kind of, I admire people that challenge that and obviously challenge that in a very good and happy way, because there's tough times, and it's even though other people sometimes say to us, it's great how you get this all done so good. We say no, we don't get it done very well. It's that's maybe the surface, but no, there's
A lot behind it.
it's work.
Yeah, a lot of work. So, wow, you have an amazing story. Our show is about self-empowerment, self-improvement, giving people stories of others so they could help themselves. What advice do you have for people that um, may be going through a situation, whether it is a child with special needs or any obstacle in their life right now? Is it ever too late?
No, it's definitely never too late. And one advice I would like to give those people is carry on. So what I learned is I know that when we started the tough times in 2008, somebody said, it's going to go on somehow, and I thought this is just like a stupid phrase, and it really didn't help me. But when I was older, I understood that somehow isn't meant to be in a it's something you can rely on. Um, it's going to go on, and what is your job? You have to carry on, and you have to keep the faith, and it's going to be all right. And now I say that totally convinced that things are really going to be okay. I heard this phrase once. It says, in the end, it's going to be okay, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. There's a little, but not only a little, there's truth in that. The sun will come up again, and if you have trouble, um, a mistake you should not do is to run away. You shouldn't turn away. If life hits you in the face, okay, you have to go on. You have to progress, and you have to cover up as much as you can, but you have to walk. If something bad happens, this is generally, if something bad happens and you turn away, then you go into something you don't like so many people talk about the comfort zone, but we can take that. If you leave your comfort zone and something bad happens, then you say, no, I don't like it, and you go back. Then you will never progress, okay? And you will always go back, and you will never experience something new. If something happens that you don't like, you have to go through, you have to push through, but don't go back, because then you're at the same spot where you started. So you have a tough situation, go on, do whatever is necessary, and keep the faith. And it's so important to believe in yourself, and to believe that I don't know when you will be okay, and it might take time, and I don't say it's easy, but in the end it has always been okay. And because I experienced that, it became part of me to say, okay, sometimes you need to wait. This one advice that I got when I had the trouble was, somebody said, life is about two things. The first thing is to cherish the good times. And the second is to survive the bad times. Okay, that means you have to bear the bad times. And then there's going to be good times. And then, celebrate the good times. But the bad times, go on. There's going to be good times.
I love that. Hendrik, how important is gratitude? You referenced gratitude earlier. And as you're talking here, you keep going back to the positive side of things, which is wonderful. Again, easier said than done, especially when you're in a situation that's new or difficult or challenging. But you're very optimistic. And how important is that optimism? How important is that daily gratitude to remind yourself that, oh, I do have a roof over my head. I do have food on the table.
You cannot overestimate it. It's really, really important to also teach yourself that it could be worse, at least in my situation, that there's people who, if they changed with you, it would be their biggest dream, to live a life that you live, no matter what you have to deal with. But somebody's nightmare is your biggest dream, right? And gratitude is a very important practice. So again, it's when you feel bad, you don't want to feel gratitude, right? It's not that you say, oh, I'm doing my gratitude practice and I feel okay. It's easier if you practice gratitude when you're in a good mood, obviously. But it's like a muscle. It builds up. And as I said, you cannot overestimate it. It's a perspective. That's what I said before, being thankful for what you have. And saying, okay, my life could be a curse, but it could be a blessing too. It's maybe a choice, or maybe it's just a little bit of understanding. Maybe a phrase you write, you read somewhere, maybe a sentence somebody says to you. And if you can accept that, you can look for that. You can start looking for the good and for the optimistic. It's if you spend your energy on the bad, the bad will grow, the muscle will grow. And if you spend it on the good, on the optimistic stuff you have, on the gratitude, that will grow. It takes time, yes. It takes energy, yes. But do it for 4 weeks, and your life will be changed.
And you're a living example of that.
I'm working, actually. I'm practicing. I'm trying. I say it again. It's not that everything is great and that not everything is easy. And I have tough times, and I feel tough, and I feel frustrated because things don't work out. But yet, what do you want to do? What do you choose? Do I choose to be optimistic? Yes. Am I optimistic? No. So I have to work on that. Okay. So I go into gratitude practice, or I go into meditation. Say, okay, I need to reset myself. The really important thing is hopefully to have something that lasts, and say, okay, maybe I can touch other people. I can support other people and help other people with my message, because I believe that this could be a contribution to make this place a better world. That sounds a little corny, but yes, I really want to make a difference. And it's not about having a good life on my own. If you have kids, or if you are somewhere in a community, you realize that if you feel good but all the others feel bad, you stop feeling good. And I think Robert Kennedy said, don't ask what America can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And I never really understood what that meant. And then I thought, oh, I understand what that means, because the core question is the same. How can I live a good life? And what he says is that if you want, that everybody supports you, it doesn't work, because you are part of everyone. You're part of the community. You're part of the people. So if the community is better, then automatically you are better, you live a better life, okay? Then you have a profit, you gain. And so pretty much is the basic idea is that you say, okay, you give and then you take. So I believe life is a lot, is about giving and taking, but it's much more about giving. Living is giving. So that's the starting point. And my spiritual belief, if you want to put it that way, is to that if I give, and if I give good, and if I give enough, my life will be better. So I do it for egoist, very selfish reasons, but yeah, I think it's good for everybody. So bring out my message. Try to reach people with my podcast. I try to reach people with what I tell on stage, maybe, and say, hopefully there's somebody who says, okay, that's a good point, that makes a difference, okay, and makes me more optimistic and gives me some power, and empowers me in what I do, and I feel better now, and there's some learning. Yeah, that's what's really important.
And you seem really comfortable in your own skin, and I'm sure it's taken years, if not decades, for you to get to a place mentally where you are today. Again, a little bit of advice. We have a lot of young listeners. For those young kids in their 20s, early 30s, who aren't quite there yet, feeling good about themselves, what advice do you have?
Accept the battle. The battle in you, it's all right. You don't have to. I tell people, sometimes I say, it's okay. If you got triplets, it's okay to say that you didn't want that. It doesn't mean that you don't love your kids. It's okay to say that there's a conflict. Accept the conflicts. If you don't know what to do, you're torn apart, it's all right. It's part of the process, actually, okay? And it takes time. One of the best advice I ever received is from my father, who's going to turn 87 in a couple of months. He said, everybody comes to the one who can wait. And you have to learn what waiting is, but it's a lot about patience. It's a lot about patience and to learning what waiting is. Waiting is not doing nothing, but it's being okay and accepting that things take time. And especially now with all the social media, you have ads on Facebook that tell you, oh, come to my course on the weekend, you're going to be a millionaire after that and all that. There's no shortcut. You cannot fake that. You cannot hack quality. You cannot hack personality in a weekend or in a week. It takes time, okay? And it's rough, and it's a battle, and it's all right, and it's all right. It's all right. And the advice that I never really was good at is to say, enjoy the ride. Okay, I wasn't good at enjoying that or feeling good about it. But I'm turning 42. I'm 42 already, and I look back sometimes and say, why were you not able to enjoy that? Why were you so hard on yourself, so hard on other people? Why don't you just relax a little bit? Okay. So I talk to myself and say, you have the faith that things going to turn out okay. So why don't you relax? Okay, kid, relax. It's going to be okay. Take it easy. And I know my battles, my fights within. Tell people it's not worth it. It's a waste of energy. Okay, be okay. This is not a rehearsal. And then sometime, you start the show. This already is the show. So you don't want to look back in 60 years and say, what, I should have done that differently, and I should have that, and then that. The time is now, okay? And I'm still practicing, but maybe young people take the advice, okay? Be okay with it. And it's also about acceptance, as what we talked about before, okay? It doesn't go as quickly as you want it to. Maybe it shouldn't. When I came back from the States, I brought a CD with me. Back then we had CDs, and that was from Garth Brooks. And I was not real huge into country and all that. And, we don't have that country. It's different in Germany. But I bought one Garth Brooks CD, and he has a song, it's called Unanswered Prayers. And he said, the song is about that you want something and you don't get it. And later on you realize that it's good that you didn't get it, okay? It was better for you. And you never know, maybe if things don't turn out or as quickly as you want them to, or there's something in your way, maybe that's for you to grow. And my true inner belief is that this is what we're here for. We're here to grow. We're here to progress. This is all. And when we're done, we go, and then we come back and we go on, okay, with that. So I think the whole life is about progress and development and becoming a better you. I have this one friend, he says, be you, but better. So I think that's all right. Yeah, that's what we came here for. And that's what we choose to be. That's what we choose to came here to do that.
Incredible. Wow, you're giving so many great tips and words of wisdom. And this is what why we love to have these deep conversations, because you're able to express yourself and talk about, the challenges that you've had and overcome to hopefully help others. So thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. I would love to know if people want to know how to get some of this logo wear from you, if they're in Germany or in Europe or even in the States. What's the best way to reach you and your team?
The best way to reach us is probably we have a website. It's pretty easy. It's habbermann.info, INFO. That's our name. Just redoing the website, but it should be up just within a couple of days. You can reach us there. Send us an email. You find us on Facebook too. And if you want to get a hold of me, it's hendrikhabbermann.com. Or look me up on Facebook or LinkedIn. Or if you're in Germany, you can look on Xing. It's similar to LinkedIn, more in the European market. If you Google my name, you'll find me very easily.
Great. And Hendrik, it's great to talk to you today. Again, this time it's recorded, so I'm grateful for that. I thank you. Before I let you go, always ask my guests one last question. I'd love to ask you as well. You've hinted toward a few things today, but ultimately at the end of the day, when your work is done, when you reach that age of 87 or beyond, I know your dad's birthday is coming up, so happy birthday to him. But what do you want your legacy to be?
My legacy, maybe I can answer this way. What do I want for myself? I want somehow of a slightly happy coolness, be okayness, be cool with everything, okay, not to take it too hard. And I believe behind that is the wish maybe that life is a game. Okay, so a little playish, don't take it too serious and all that. And I want people to maybe work on that attitude. If I could give a little support on that, don't take it too hard, it's not too bad, you're going to be okay. And if not, who cares? Then it's going to be okay in a different way. So whatever. If somebody, if that could be a cool legacy that, tune people into that state of mind.
Fantastic. Hendrik Habbermann, thank you so much. Welcome to the American Real family. Thanks for your time.
Roger, thank you very much. Great to be here.
Thanks for tuning into American Real. Be sure to visit our website, americanreal.tv, or search for us on iTunes or YouTube for past episodes. While you're there, please rate us or leave us a review, as that helps others find our show. I am truly grateful and appreciate all of your support. If you'd like to be part of our inner circle or want one-on-one coaching, check out the American Real Learning Academy, where we have self-help groups and courses so you can build the best you. We also have a new Facebook group where you can connect with high achievers from around the world. If you want to go even further, maybe you're determined to write your own book or launch your own podcast, contact me today to see if we could help. You can reach me through Instagram or Facebook, or email me directly at roger@americanreal.tv. And speaking of podcasting, our next course will be starting soon. So if you're interested in launching your own podcast, join me and Podcast Your Passion. I'll take you through my 8-week course where I'll mentor you to build a world-class podcast. I'm only taking on a small group of people who who want to share their passion through broadcasting, where I'll have you up on iTunes and YouTube within weeks so you can podcast your passion. Click on the link below for more information. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you